Oh, a lot of it can be seen in the same day. We have, yeah, we have some of our charts that look at specific orders and point out specifically how you could have saved money by sourcing it from a different warehouse. And that's before it even leaves the building.
Do you feel like your JD system has data but no real insight? Are machine learning and analytics stuck in the hands of your IT team or data scientists? Today, we're joined by Mario Ricciardi from ERP Suites to break down how non technical teams like finance, supply chain, and even operations can actually use smarter analytics inside JD Edwards. If you want to understand the ROI that a smarter analytics application could bring to your business, this episode is for you. Welcome back to Not Your Grandpa's JD Edwards, a podcast helping you modernize and make the most of your ERP investment. I'm Nate Bushfield, and today we're talking about smarter analytics in JD Edwards, making machine learning and AI not just smart, but actually useful for everyone in the business. Joining me is Mario Ricciardi, a software engineer at ERP Suites and the guy behind some of the smartest tools we've seen in JDE. Mario, welcome. How are you doing today? And can you explain a little bit about your role?
Yeah. Thanks. I'm doing pretty well. Yeah, I'm a senior member of our AI products and development team, and I am working very closely with a lot of our AI tools, a lot of the machine learning and large language model implementation.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Obviously, your insights are legendary to me and a lot of the people that I work with around this space, specifically Drew Robb. He talks about you in the brightest of lights, which is honestly one of the greatest recommendations that you can possibly have. So let's start with a problem that many listeners might feel. Why do so many JDE users struggle to actually use the data their system produces?
Well, the primary struggle is that there's just so much of it. Really, there's such a broad spectrum of data from inventory to warehouse, transportation, or financial data that just to look at it through regular inspection, it's really difficult to get any kind of insights out of all of that complex information. And of course, it spreads across years. So trying to determine what kind of actionable changes you can make to your business from that kind of just mass of information is really pretty difficult.
Yeah, of course. And a lot of these businesses that use JD Edwards have been around for a very long time. You're completely correct in terms of the amount of data that they have truly gathered and even have used through JD Edwards throughout the entirety of one, them being implemented into JD Edwards and the transfer of the data from even before. It's hard for a lot of these businesses to truly understand what data they have and how to truly use it. But can you walk us through what smarter analytics is and how it's designed for non-technical users?
Yeah. So our smarter analytics solution is at its core statistical analysis of your data. And um, that in itself presents a quandary because it produces a lot of information as well. Really, in what can amount to thousands and thousands of records that show you information that, again, is very difficult to just look at and find any kind of patterns to it. But that's really its purpose with the statistical analysis is to find patterns. And after that particular step is done, we take those results and we produce graphs and charts that are very meaningful and very easy to decipher to make informed decisions about changes you want to make. For instance, you can look at transportation information and see that you are sending your goods to places that are probably farther away from some of the warehouses than you should. So by taking all of your years worth of data and running this analysis upon it, and then turning that into visual representations that are easy to understand. You can see where you can save money by optimizing your warehouse operations.
Yeah, exactly. It streamlines the process of a lot of these people that are actually in need of utilizing this data. They don't have the data science background. They don't have the technical needs or abilities that a lot of the people truly should have when it comes to deciphering this data. And smarter analytics cuts through all of that. It makes it as easy as it can possibly be to decipher a lot of this data. And it's honestly one of the most impressive things that, yeah, like a regular person that is walking into a JD Edwards space, if they need to decipher this data and they don't have the specific degree or the knowledge or the know-how, it can be very difficult. It can prove to be a very big problem, and it would take a lot of time for them to do this. So you're completely right. Like it will streamline this process to make it simple, easy, and a lot faster than what even a data scientist can truly do. It's very amazing, honestly. But how does removing the need for a data scientist background open doors for teams like finance or even supply chain to solve their own problems?
Well, I guess I would say we're not exactly removing the need for data scientists, but we are taking that lift off of customers by doing that data science work ourselves for them. So we have a team of data scientists essentially that are working through these problems and then offering solutions. So where maybe one of our canned uh, analysis notebooks doesn't meet somebody's needs, we are in the position to offer that data scientist work and give customers their own custom solution. Uh, while we do have a broad range of analyses and statistical work that we're doing, we also can offer custom solutions.
Yeah, exactly. And when we say the word custom, it is something that some people are like, oh, that means it costs more, or whatever the situation is there. That typically comes with the word custom to a lot of our customers. Am I wrong about that? Yeah, I mean, well, let's be honest. Let's be honest. But the thing about this is we have built it to where it is customized for every single one of our partners, customers, anyone that would really need this. And so that cost that would be different for the packaged solutions out there. Every business is different. All their data looks different. And so to say that this is a custom thing does not mean that it's going to cost more than anything else that you can find in the space. It just means that it will be built specifically for your company and that it will make it easier for you and for anyone that is trying to utilize this data.
Yeah, it can be. But we are also offering a really broad range of analysis that I think fits the vast majority of companies' needs in order to understand their operations over time.
Very, very true. And honestly, I didn't really think about that. But yeah, obviously, we have a very broad range of what that data analysis could truly look like. And so it is different when you're talking about a custom solution that basically just means that you're choosing specific packages that we already have built out. So it's different than custom building is probably the better way of saying that. But anyways, what kind of costly mistakes or inefficiencies can anomaly detection help like a finance manager catch before they actually happen in JD Edwards?
Um, well, our initial group of tools has been really focused on sales and warehouse and transportation. And what we've discovered is there's a lot of work that can be done with the transportation space and to determine, where we're being inefficient with our stocking and shipping operations. And then we also get like through scatter plots and that sort of thing, a great understanding of our inventory and inventory levels and whether we're meeting our sales requirements for time properly. So as far as, return on investment in those spaces, there's um there's a lot of good information that we can see in our data, in our representation in these charts that helps warehouse or inventory managers understand where there are opportunities to optimize the operations.
And exactly. It makes it simpler. It does. And when you're looking at a scatter plot or anything, like when it comes to that specific types of data, and you said this earlier, deciphering a chart, deciphering a plot, it's a lot easier than going through spreadsheets of data and figuring out what it all means. Trying to decipher that to a degree of simplicity that this truly does. But anyways, are these sorry, I'm freezing a little bit. Gotta pause. All right. Now we're moving around. All right. I think I'm back. Are these insights embedded into dashboards, alerts, or workflows? And how are they being consumed in the day to day?
Um, well, the day to day. As far as what we're seeing with a lot of our analysis, we can see where our profit margins lie within specific product lines. We can see which of our salespeople are being the most productive. We can see which warehouses or which sales organizations within the company are giving us the greatest profit margins. And we can see that over time. So we can understand seasonality of our sales just by looking at uh, our graphs and our information. And then on top of that, we also have a step in the data analysis where we're feeding this information into our own hosted large language model. And we can get back insights from the model itself. So it can make recommendations that you may have overlooked or point out patterns that may be still hidden a little bit.
Right. And when they're looking for these patterns, when a typical employee is looking for this, are they in a dashboard or is it more of an alert system or is it just workflows? What does that kind of look like?
Well, I think this is probably sitting a little higher than an average user. It would probably be more at a an operations manager kind of level where they would be able to see, from 30,000 feet down on the organization and see where things are working really well or where maybe we could uh, alter some products to try to seek out some extra margin.
Of
So,
course. And yeah, sorry, go ahead.
well, I was going to say a regular, we could make one of these for regular employees. Maybe the sales force, for instance, if you have a competition going with your sales force to see, who's going to make the highest sales, we could track that and have that presented to them on their own individual portal, and then they could see where they are in the race.
Yeah. Which is honestly, I mean, we have our own sales team here, of course. And it is kind of interesting because we do have our own dashboards that are tracking our different sales. And it is kind of cool because obviously we're not competing with each other. We don't have the same territories, but it is always fun to, oh, let's see how this person's doing. Let's see how this person's doing. And they all talk a little bit of shit, not gonna lie, but it's always fun because it's never really malicious against each other because we're all in different territories. We want us all to succeed. But when you see somebody that is succeeding really well, it's great to break down, all right, you're succeeding a lot. What are you doing? What is your process? But it's great to see that data in a dashboard where it's available for even your managers, or maybe it's available for everybody, where you can see if somebody is doing well and you can ask them, how are you doing this? What is your process? What are you doing that is different than what I'm doing? So it's great to have that type of conversation, and especially this data available to you. So you can actually have that conversation. So you can track that somebody's doing well. And yes, I know we do shit talk each other, but it's fun. It's a good way of, if there isn't a little bit of competition in your sales force, I mean, what are you doing? It's fun to have competition with each other. We're human beings. We're based on competition. And I might be wrong about that. There are people out there that hate competition. I'm not one of them. I love it. I
Yeah.
absolutely love it.
Well, there are some products where the salespeople are allowed to negotiate. For instance, uh, one industry that I've worked in for a while was lumber, and negotiating price was a big part of that. And so, if you've got salespeople that are negotiating too far, maybe you need to rein some of that in. So there's, like I said, there's enormous amounts of data that you can consolidate and turn into a graph and do analysis on it, and then work on your operations to make them even more efficient.
Especially with lumber prices these days. I bet you wish you still worked there. I'm sure you'd be banking a pretty penny. To move back to more of what we were talking about, how does Oracle, ADW, and OML fit into all this behind the scenes, especially for people who just want answers and not code?
Well, those are the heart of the solution. The data warehouse is where we're moving the data to in order for it to be processed by the machine learning and statistical analysis tools. And really, as a partner of Oracle, I mean, we are using their tools, and they're extremely robust, and they're supported by Oracle. So we're relying very heavily on their statistical analysis tools to break down all of this data and perform all the work that gives us the heart of this entire solution. After that, all of that work is done, then we're turning it into charts. So without all of that background and foundation work that they've provided to us, we don't have anything to base our charts on. Um, but Oracle's giving us a great set of tools, and it's top of the line industrial.
Yeah, Oracle has always been on the cutting edge of a lot of this stuff. And it's great that we have such a strong partnership with them when it comes to a lot of our products that are out there right now. Especially for this one, though, they know their data, and they have been one of the largest data warehouses that we've seen in a lot of these years. Yes, there is some personal opinion about which one is best. If you want to look at that, we actually have a podcast about it with Stuart Peterman that came out a few months ago. So please go look at that if you want to decide which data warehouse is the best for you. But there is a lot of great cutting edge technology that they've really rolled out over the past 5 years, even 10 years, even 15 years. They've been doing this for a long time. And Katie Edwards says, we had a podcast with Frank Jordan, and he carbon dated me. He talked about a floppy disk. I, I have never seen a floppy disk in real life, which is crazy to say. I know what they are. I know what existed. I know that JD Edwards started on a floppy disk. I've never seen how they plug into a computer ever. I never understood that process. But anyways, enough about how young I am, I guess. Uh, but what types of financial or operational issues are most often caught? And what's the cost of truly missing them?
Um, well, patterns is what we're really finding. That's really what all of this analysis does. Is it finds anything that is anomalous or outside of specific ranges. So if there's anything in the operations data that is statistically significant in any way, it'll be caught and found out and shown to you.
Yeah.
So, stock shortages or people that are operating uh, outside of what you consider to be normal bounds. Maybe um, their sales numbers are a little too big. Maybe they're a little too low. There's anything that's outside of the range of normalcy will stick out. So it might be
Yes.
R&D expenditures in the financial realm. Uh, that stuff, none of it stays hidden.
Yeah. Yes, there is a discrepancy on certain data points, or maybe somebody is plugging in data the wrong way. Of maybe there's that human error side of it. There are alerts that are sent out that, hey, this doesn't make sense. This number is 1,000 off or a zero off or something like that, where there can be a discrepancy. And smarter analytics can give you that flag, can give you that alert that'll catch it before you move into, oh, wow, we did great this last quarter. Oh, wow, this 1 week we did horrible. How are we missing like 1,000 units or something like that?
Yeah.
Where there is that catch, which is very, I mean, talk about ROI, that can give you tremendous value of maybe you were short X amount of, like we were talking about shipping or talking about lumber. Maybe you were short X amount of pieces of lumber. Imagine that relationship between you and the customer that is buying this lumber. If you're X amount short because something in your JDE system was saying, oh, no, it should have been this number instead of this number. And with this alert, you can alleviate that. You can keep that trust with that customer because you're not going to short them, because you already have that alert built into it where it can catch you before you make that mistake. And that's one of the most impressive things about this, especially when you talk about trust and you talk about relationships and you talk about all these customers that you might work with. But have you seen examples where the savings or avoided losses in this case were clear within weeks or even months?
Oh, a lot of it can be seen in the same day. We have, yeah, we have some of our charts that look at specific orders and point out specifically how you could have saved money by sourcing it from a different warehouse. And that's before it even leaves the building. So, yeah, there's a lot of information that can lead to immediate savings or immediate actionable items before the transaction's even complete.
Yeah, which is very impressive that almost in real time it can catch this stuff. 'Cause there are a lot, and I'm not going to name names and spit talk other applications out there. It's not what this is. There's a lot that isn't happening in real time. That maybe it'll take a day or it'll take 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, whatever the amount is. And at that time, if your business is rolling and you're doing a daily shipment thing, that can be very problematic. This can catch in real time. It can catch on the day that it happens. That can save you a lot of money, or can save a relationship, or can save your business if it is one of those struggling times of you need this order to go through and you need it to be right. So it is something that, yeah, you might not find value in it just looking at it at face value. But if you look deeper into it, it can bring a tremendous value to your company in terms of showing you what you need to know and when you need to know it. And it's as simple as that. But for companies that don't have a big IT bench, how realistic is it to scale this product?
Um, well, see, that's the thing. We're doing the heavy lift here. So you don't need to have a large IT department in order to get payout for this because really our solution is able to, from the outside, go in through REST services and extract the data that needs to be analyzed. You don't have to take part in that or trigger anything manually. A lot of it's set up to be automated. and you can specify how often you want it to happen, maybe every hour. And of course, there are some limitations on, how much data we can move over time. But say you want a rolling data update of every hour, then we would do that, run the analysis on it, and it immediately shows up on the dashboard. I mean, the dashboard itself is all based on live data in Oracle tables. Those tables are populated immediately during the statistical analysis notebook runs. And we have 6 or 7 notebooks. They'll run in just a couple of minutes. And the data update or upload, like I said, is defined by the customer and their needs, their operations function, and their need for real-time information. So it works behind the scenes essentially, and uh, the dashboard shows you the results. So you don't have to take any part in that or have any kind of IT intervention on the customer's side for it to operate.
And it's very beneficial, obviously. I mean, I've harped on it a little bit too much today, I'm sure. I'm sure a lot of our listeners are like, yeah, man, come on. I know. This is great. Come on. You just move on. But there is a lot of benefits that you can see from a continuous rolling update, especially with smart analytics. Like this is just, if it's continuous, if it's always checking, if it's always populating, obviously every hour, if that's what they want to do, if they want to do it shorter or longer, it's completely up to them. It depends on what your business model looks like. So there is a lot of benefit to it, and it's very customizable for everybody that through every industry that you could possibly think of.
Yeah. And, still on this particular topic, I've been a technical consultant for 20 years. And customers, they want to know it works. They want to know that they don't have to fiddle with things or that they're going to worry about something breaking. They want a product that is going to be seamless. And my philosophy for software design is that I want it to be as bulletproof as possible. I want it to be as uh, just coherent in its solution to offer what is intuitive to the user in its use and function and presentation. And that's how we've designed a lot of these solutions so that there's no intervention on the customer side and the stuff looks really good and it works every day, no matter what.
It's awesome. Now, if only we can come out with one for sports betting, I think that we could make some serious money. All right.
All right, thanks for putting that. I got you. I know it.
But if you're ready to make machine learning work for more than just your IT team, ERP Suites is here to help. You can explore smarter analytics, see anomaly detection in action, and even try our ROI calculator at erpsuites.com. Links will be in the description below. But that's a wrap for today's episode of Not Your Grandpa's JD Edwards. Huge shout out to you, Mario, for showing us how AI can empower every department, not just the data geeks. And I know this is no offense to the geeks out there, so am I. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share it with your finance, ops, or procurement teams. Until next time, keep it smart, keep it simple, and keep modernizing your JD Edwards system. Thank you.